The glory we were never told about. History books often tell us a beautiful story. They talk about great empires, brave kings, glorious victories, and golden ages. But what if I told you that behind every powerful empire, there is a dark truth most people never learn? Empires are remembered for their architecture, wealth, and influence. But they were also built on blood, fear, slavery, and silence. Millions suffered. Millions were erased. And their stories were buried, intentionally. Today, we are going to uncover the dark truth behind the world's most powerful empires. This is not the history of heroes. This is the history of power. Stay with me till the end, because the final truth will change how you see history forever. What is an empire really? An empire is not just land and armies. An empire is control. Control over people. Control over resources. Control over truth. Every empire promised peace and progress. But behind that promise was one rule: obey or suffer. Empires rose when power was centralized in the hands of a few. And when power grows too big, human life becomes cheap. Let's begin with one of the most admired empires in history. The Roman Empire, glory built on blood. The Roman Empire is remembered for roads, law, and civilization. But Rome's greatness came at a terrifying cost. Roman expansion depended on endless war. Villages were burned. Men were executed. Women and children were sold into slavery. Slavery was not a side system. It was the foundation of Rome. At its peak, 1 in every 3 people in Rome was a slave. Gladiator games were not entertainment. They were public executions disguised as sport. People cheered as humans were torn apart by animals. Empathy died slowly in the Roman crowd. Rome didn't civilize the world. It terrorized it into submission. And when the empire collapsed, it left behind ruins and millions of forgotten graves. The Mongol Empire, power through fear. The Mongol Empire became the largest land empire in history. But its expansion was driven by pure fear. Cities were given a choice: surrender immediately, or be completely destroyed. Those who resisted were slaughtered. Entire populations were wiped out in days. Skulls were stacked into towers as a warning to others. The Mongols understood one thing very well: fear travels faster than armies. While trade and communication improved, the human cost was devastating. Some historians estimate 40 million deaths occurred during Mongol conquests. The British Empire, the empire that never apologized. The British Empire once ruled over a quarter of the world. It claimed to bring civilization, law, and progress. But behind the polite words was systematic exploitation. Colonies were drained of resources. Local industries were destroyed. People were forced into poverty to enrich Britain. In India alone, millions died in man-made famines, while food was exported overseas. Education was controlled. History was rewritten. Resistance was brutally crushed. The empire didn't just steal land. It stole identity. Even today, many former colonies are still healing from damage done centuries ago. And the most disturbing part: much of this history was never taught. The Ottoman Empire, silence through control. The Ottoman Empire ruled for over 600 years. It is often remembered for tolerance and culture. But power was maintained through strict control. Dissent was dangerous. Criticism could cost your life. One of the darkest practices was forced child recruitment. Young boys were taken from families, trained as soldiers, and turned against their own people. They became loyal to the empire, but at the cost of their identity. Power doesn't always look violent. Sometimes it looks organized, disciplined, and silent. That silence hides pain. The Spanish Empire, gold stained with blood. The Spanish Empire searched for gold and found entire civilizations. Indigenous populations were enslaved, tortured, and exterminated. Diseases spread rapidly. Forced labor destroyed communities. Within decades, millions of native people disappeared. Gold filled royal vaults in Europe, while continents bled. The story of discovery is celebrated. The story of destruction is ignored. Empires often call invasion exploration. Why empires always fall? No empire lasts forever. Why? Because oppression creates resistance. Because greed destroys balance. Because power blinds leaders. Empires fall when the people are exhausted. Resources are drained. Trust is lost. Collapse is not sudden. It is slow and ignored. History proves one thing again and again. The same methods that build empires are the ones that destroy them. The biggest lie we were taught. The biggest lie in history is this: empires brought progress. Progress for whom? For kings. For elites. For conquerors. But what about the farmers forced into labor? The children taken from families? The cultures erased forever? History often belongs to the victors. Truth belongs to those who search for it. Modern empires, different face, same system. Empires didn't disappear. They evolved. Today, power is not always military. It is economic. It is political. It is psychological. Control now comes through debt, influence, and information. Borders changed. Methods changed. But the hunger for dominance remains. The lesson of history is not about the past. It's about the present. The truth we must remember. Empires rise on ambition. They fall on injustice. The dark truth is not meant to make us ashamed. It is meant to make us aware. Because when we understand history honestly, we stop repeating it blindly. The real greatness of humanity is not found in empires. It is found in empathy, justice, and truth. If you learned something today, share this story. Because forgotten history is dangerous history. If you enjoy deep, real English documentaries like this, subscribe to Toori and turn on notifications bell. New videos every week. Real history, real truth, real stories. See you in the next documentary.